I used to think maybe something was broken in me. That started the day my dad found me wearing my sister's blue sundress in the backyard. I was 11. I still remember the smell of cut grass and the warmth of the nylon straps digging into my bony shoulders. It fit awkward, but it made me feel light. He came storming out of the house like the world was on fire. Didn't yell at first, just looked. His face drained, like he saw something he didn't want to know. And then he said, low and cold, "Take that off, Walter." I thought I was going to melt right into the dirt. That night he wouldn't look at me. I tried to apologize but didn't know what I was apologizing for. I remember touching my lips with the hem of that same dress after everyone was asleep, whispering, "I'm sorry," even though I didn't know who I was saying it to. Maybe myself. That's when the hiding started. By the time I was 14, I had it down to an art. When the house went quiet and the porch light clicked off, I'd sneak into Caroline's room and slip into her things. Soft cotton. Loose lace. Anything with a waistline that whispered instead of shouted. I didn't know words like gender identity. I just knew the feeling that came over me when I looked in the mirror and saw a version of myself that felt gentle. Not like the boy I was told to be. Not like my father's rough hands or my uncle's cold laugh. But like something blooming in secret. I kept it to myself. Even when kids at school asked why I didn't play football or why I crossed my legs like that. Even when someone wrote fairy on my locker in 7th grade and my chest burned for a week straight. Still, I kept it inside. I made it to adulthood without anyone ever really knowing me. Not fully. Not honestly. I tried to date girls. I kissed one at a house party in my 20s and felt like I was watching someone else's life happen through a window. It never fit. The turning point came the day I walked into a thrift store 2 towns away and saw it. A long, sleeveless summer dress, pale cream with little embroidered strawberries. It looked lonely on the hanger. I touched it once gently, then again, and then I bought it. I don't know what gave me the courage. Maybe I was just tired. Tired of the ache of pretending. I brought it home, locked the door, pulled the shades, and stepped into it like a breath I'd been holding since childhood. And for the first time in decades, I exhaled. I met Johnny the following summer. I was 39. He was 34 and looked like someone who could play guitar without knowing how to read music. Just instinct and good wrists. We met in a used bookstore. I was wearing women's jeans and a pale green blouse. He smiled at me before I even spoke. That smile, slow, a little crooked, landed like something warm on my skin. "You look like someone who reads poetry," he said. I don't know why that embarrassed me so much, but it did. I laughed too quietly and said, "I pretend to." He handed me a thin book with a worn spine. Our first date wasn't really a date. Just 2 coffees, a bench near the water, and a breeze that kept trying to lift my hair. I was nervous. Not about liking a man. I'd already made peace with that in quiet, unspoken ways, but about him seeing me fully. About the way I dressed. About the things I'd never said aloud. He asked me what I liked about dresses. I said, "They make me feel like I'm not fighting myself." He nodded like he understood more than he let on. Then he reached out and touched the hem of my sleeve, just for a second. It made my skin hum. We weren't perfect. I don't believe in perfect anymore. But there were nights I would rest my head on his chest and feel, for once, completely held. Not just touched, but understood. Seen. Not just as a man or a woman or something in between, but as someone who had spent most of his life locked in silence. Johnny didn't try to fix me. He didn't ask me to explain the things I wore. He liked my painted nails. Helped me zip up the back of a navy dress once, his hands slow and careful. His fingertips brushed the nape of my neck, and I remember the way he breathed out, as if the sight of me settled something inside him. "You're beautiful, Walter," he said into my skin. And I believed him. It didn't last. His brother came to town. Big, loud, military guy. One of those men who didn't say much but said everything with a squint or a scoff. One look at us, Johnny in jeans, me in a floral wrap, and the air in the room turned solid. Thick with judgment, with danger, with the old language of shame we never quite unlearn. He didn't say much. He didn't have to. The look on Johnny's face said enough. Later, Johnny sat on my bed quiet. The kind of quiet that hurts to sit beside. "I'm not ashamed of you," he said. "But I don't know how to live between two worlds." I wanted to say, "You don't have to live between them. You can live in mine." I wanted to say, "We could make one together, just ours." But I didn't. I just looked at his hands. I held one, then let it go when he stood up. The night after he left, I put on that strawberry dress again. The one from the thrift store. The one that had waited for me like a promise. It still smelled faintly of lavender sachets and old wallpaper glue. I stood in front of the mirror for a long time, touched my collarbone, adjusted the shoulder strap, ran my fingers along the hem where it frayed slightly. My reflection was soft, tired, alive. Then I whispered, "You're okay. Not beautiful. Not brave. Just okay." And somehow that was enough. I still think of him sometimes. When I walk past old bookstores or smell coffee on a rainy day. Sometimes when I'm curling my lashes or picking out earrings. There's no bitterness. Just a soft ache that doesn't sting anymore. Like an old song you don't skip, even if it still makes you pause. I don't hide who I am now. Not in public. Not in private. I wear what I want. I smile when people stare. Sometimes I still get scared, on buses, in crowded rooms, in unfamiliar towns, but I walk anyway. In skirts. In heels. In my skin. Because I spent too long being someone else. And even if I lost someone I loved, I didn't lose me. I found myself in the quiet. In the fabric. In the mirror. In the soft, stubborn truth of my own reflection. That's the quiet truth I live with. That's what dresses gave me. Not permission. Just myself.